Dopamine is a chemical inside the brain that is responsible for feelings of happiness and pleasure. It acts as a reward for doing things that are essential, such as eating, sleeping, sex, and you know it, you love it, double dogs. You guessed correctly, dear viewer. Today's episode of AWAHTUT is on the holiest of Demoman's arsenal, the loose cannon. The loose cannon was added on December 20th, 2012, during the Mecha update, and quickly became a fan favorite among Demo's primaries.
Ah, the loose cannon. As someone who doesn't play a lot of demo, this was a refreshing experience for me. The other launchers get boring, and they're all basically the same, except for this one. Let's talk about the loose cannon and why it's good. The main reason is simple, double donks. For those who don't know, a double donk is when you time a cannonball good enough that it hits and blows up next to the same person, making the explosion a mini crit and dealing a clean 131 damage.
To get the timing down pat, you gotta hold down M1 and run the fuse down enough so that it can successfully donk. Cannonballs are heavier than all three pills and they don't go as far. They only have a fuse time of a second, so you don't need to charge them a lot.
But the skill needed to donk is balanced by the fact that it gives the same amount of dopamine JFK got when he fucked Marilyn Monroe before he got it all blown out of his head.
Another great feature of the weapon is cannon jumping. Cannon jumping is when you basically rocket jump with the loose cannon for some extra mobility on a class that already has lots. We'll talk about it more in a bit.
This thing ain't all perfect though. For starters, the first stat isn't all true. Yes, the projectiles are 20% faster, but they're also heavier, making them not go as far as regular pills. In general, you just have less range, so you need to be always closing the distance.
The second downside is that it reloads slightly slower than the other launchers. I don't even know why this is. What the hell, Valve? The biggest downside is how unreliable it is. With the other launchers, they do a nice clean 100 damage, with everybody going down 2 shots. Not this thing, though. On just one hit, it can do 50 damage, and the explosion does 60. How much does that make? Who friggin' knows? This makes it more complicated to use, because who fucking knows how much damage you'll do?
This means if you want to do any kind of reliable damage, you need to get your double donks down. The hardest part of donks is charging it. If you don't charge it enough, you get the donk and die. But if you charge it too much, you look like Matthew Perry when he died in a hot tub.
That's right, Matthew Perry can be avoided and used to your advantage. No hot tub though. Allow us to introduce another great feature of the loose cannon. It's cannon jumping.
We already sorta introduced it before, but let's get technical. Cannon jumping is pretty simple. Aim at a nearby surface, charge up a cannonball, jump, fire the cannonball when it's almost fully charged, and go flying.
Cannon jumping gives you a lot of extra mobility, which lets you do crazy shit. For instance, you can cannon jump into the air and shrimp everywhere. Or you can cannon jump and charge into some unsuspecting scout. With the Charge and Targe, or Splendid screen, you become a kamikaze plane diving into an American cruiser. Bonus points if you use the Caber or Half Satuichi. If you use it with the Tide Turner, you just fly. You're just a plane at that point, dude. I'm Aloe Vera, and for the intermission, I'm doing a quick recap of every episode of Amazing Weapons and how to use them. First episode was the Thompson. This video took over 6 months to make. Ooh, yippee. Because we had no clue how to make videos, and because we chose the damn Thompson. This video is shit, the weapon is shit, the production was shit, and the only good joke was shit. Then we got the overdose. This video is pretty good, except for all the parts that weren't. Like, we could have put jazz over that one part, but no, we really had to take the high road there. Other than that, it was good. Next, the best in the series, the Dragon's Fury. Since we decided to make a video about a good weapon, the whole thing was easier to do and it became our best video. And it only took 10 days to make. That's 18 times less than the Thompson. And finally, the previous episode of AWAHTUT, the Enforcer. Yup. Welcome to the Guide to the Enforcer Guide. That concludes our intermission. Back to your irregularly scheduled program.
It's a cannon, dumbass. Well, it's a cartoony handheld cannon, which isn't even that weird. People have tried to downsize cannons for lots of history, and early weapons like flintlocks and muskets are basically just that, a handheld cannon. The ammo's a different story. Despite being called cannonballs, the loose cannon actually fires bombs with fuses. It might sound stupid, but people tried and succeeded at making it work. How it worked was simple. When you pull the trigger, the powder of a chamber gets ignited, and as the bomb gets shot out, the fuse on the bomb gets ignited too, making a very early grenade launcher of sorts.
So now we understand the weapon, but how do you use it? First thing to understand is that the loose cannon is in more cases than not Demo's worst primary. This is AWAHTUT, and how seriously we take the A is up for debate. So we have the AW in AWAHTUT, but now we get the HUTUT.
The loose cannon offers a take on Demo's playstyle we can only describe as spastic maxing. With the other launchers, you have clean, consistent, and powerful damage. You get Demo when he's at home. Calm, professional, he takes care of his mom. But with the loose cannon, you get Demo stinking up the couch, completely shit-faced, while Islander is whining about a cop show or something.
We touched on this before, but the loose cannon has way less range than the other launchers, so first things first is you need to be able to close the distance. You will not win a medium range fight against most classes in the game, so play in tight spaces, not open ones. And if you're playing on an incredibly open map, pack a shield or the sticky jumper.
Another thing to get around is the unreliability. You don't really know what's coming out of this thing, which also hurts your enemies. Best way to get around this is just double donks.
Once you master the art of the donk, the damage just pours out, and the loose cannon goes from Demo's worst to Demo's best. The loose cannon operates with high burst damage, so modeling your playstyle around that is key. In any fight, rest assured, you can kill them before they can even think of killing you. The element of surprise is your best friend here. Drop out of fucking nowhere, donk a sniper, and get out of there. Or just sticky jump into the enemy and see what happens. If you land a kill and get out alive, good job.
You might get the impression that the loose cannon is only good in a 1v1, but believe me, that's a fib. Double donks can rattle any combo. With the mini-crit explosion and the knockback, somebody's gonna die, and the rest are gonna lose good health.
Another great thing about the loose cannon is 131. Light classes? No. Gone. In pieces even. Scouts? Light counter my ass. NGs? Definitely not. Snipers? You already know. And spies? Never had a chance.
Demo as a class is defined by his secondaries. They're more important than his primaries, and change how he plays completely. When it comes to stickies, Stock's your best bet, because it's the most reliable and does the most damage. The Scottish Resistance is good, if you're into that kind of thing, and the Quickie Bomb Launcher complements a more fast and autistic playstyle, where you spam like shit, miss, and then use the bottle.
How about shields? The charge and charge is good if you suck at the game and need resistances. The Splendid Screen works if you're playing a lot more with your melee, or if you're charging a lot. The Tide Turner is the best for raw mobility, when you gotta get places.
Finally, it's the sticky jumper. Use this if you're playing the troll playstyle. You know when you drop out a bomb fucking nowhere and smack someone over the head with your bottle? Now take that and replace the bottle with the magic of the loose cannon.
Speaking of the bottles. Demo's a weird class, because if you're playing classic Demo, the bottle's really your only choice for melee. Oh, I forgot about...
عم يهتبت لك كلمات الله وسوريا وبشار وجامع متحدين ولمحطي عنوان الدين.
The caber is definitely one of Demo's weapons. Used with discretion.
The rest of Demo's melees are all Demo nice shit. So lightning round. Islander, best one, no doubt. Skull Cutter, random crits are funny, speed debuff sucks. Claymore, more charging your sword, less in your pants. Hashtag Toy, refills your health on each kill, second best. Persuader, forces you to play shitty Demo Knight, not worth it, ruins every loadout.
Speaking of ruined loadouts.
Let's run through some sweet loadouts that include the weapon of the hour. First off is the aforementioned Aggression and Filth loadout. Loose cannon, quickies, and the caber. With this one you gotta be primal, you gotta grunt, and you gotta do crazy shit.
Next is Pyrat. Loose cannon, tide turner, and the stock bottle. This one will get y'all like, where the rum gone? You know the type. Real scurvy dog. Yo ho ho. Fucking, walk the plank. There be treasure ahead. I ran out of pirate jargon.
Bugwoo loadout, Persian Persuader, loose cannon, and literally end sticky launcher. Why, because you have no ammo as you can't do shit. Have fun!
And finally, you got the crazy-ass solar light loadout for crazy-ass people. Loose cannon, tide turner, and the claymore. With this one, you gotta do crazy shit like trips and cannon jumps, and with a good half-second more charge...
To finish it off, let's talk about the loose cannon. The original one. You know, with the faster projectile speed. Because I fucking hate the loose cannon, you know? I was playing fucking shit, like, I hate the loose cannon. It fucking, like, revert the loose cannon.
Well, there you have it. You know all there is to know about the loose cannon. We've seen highs, we've seen lows, and we've seen an offensive joke about Muslim suicide bombers, which will get us banned. That's all we have for now. If you like this, subscribe, watch more AWAHTUT, and check out our other series like Juju Check, and watch Boogwoo. We have been your hosts,
Aloe Vera!
Kingfish.
and Mary G. Martha. And remember to look it out like the primoid you are.